it might be a bit hidden, the Pine Lake Challenge course has changed a lot of lives. This course serves as a catalyst to fostering positive growth for groups of individuals or maybe teammates from schools, private agencies, and community organizations. The course consists of more than 45 different elements or stations constructed with a series of ropes, cables, and obstacles in a grove of trees. Eileen McNulty has been there since the beginning. Eileen, you're just going through your 29th year, hardly a short timer, so give us an overview of the Pine Lake rope course here.
Well, the Pine Lake Challenge course was developed in the 1990s. It was built by Project Adventure, and how it got started was when I came to Bristol, I was looking for something to challenge myself personally, but also something I could bring back to the community and the youth to help develop their skills. And I had good collaborating partners with the Board of Ed and with the Bristol Boys and Girls Club and Family Center. So we decided to spend some time together and develop a model that we could use recreation, in education and therapeutically, and also have it open to the community and the business community as well.
It's quite a tribute. We talked to Melissa and John, and now we've got a whole new regime coming up that have been here, like you, a long time. What's the secret of getting them to come back and participating?
Well, I think it's the whole model. It's about bringing people together and creating a community and having a common language and learning how to communicate and negotiate, and most of all, to have some fun.
You know, there is some physical aspects of this, but that's really not primary, and it's not only just what we would call normal kids. Anybody can participate, can't they?
Anybody can participate, 9 to 90 years old. We've had people who are 90 years old doing some high climbs.
And if you're challenged, that really isn't an issue out here, is it?
No, not at all. And when I first did this work, I thought the challenge was going to be physical, and when I walked away, it was much more about mental growth and emotional growth. So
it's kind of a unique story about how this got built, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The funding to get it started came from the State Department of Education. They saw it as a useful tool, and we also wanted to work on diversity appreciation, having people honor in unique differences of one another. And the Roberts Foundation also contributed some funding to help us build the elements.
And you use this year-round. How do you maintain this and keep it up? Because I know my little yard is something. I can't imagine these 7 acres.
We have a wonderful staff here, and Don Gagliardi is a point person on maintaining the facility and making sure everything is safe, that we have regular inspections, that the equipment is checked every single time we're out here. So yeah, we have a good crew, and it's a teamwork. Everybody's responsible.
Now, we've seen some of the more physical things, and you've got things in the air, you got things on the ground, but you actually do some kind of learning and testing, don't you?
So we'll design different curriculums based on what our client wants. So we do have the lake out here, and we've been developing water testing that we do in samples, and the kids can learn more about water cycles. We also go to the other extreme, and we have a mock underground railroads day that we do out here in collaboration with the Queen Anne Nzinga Center.
If you had a mission, because this is kind of a unique for the city, I mean, yeah, there's some money involved, there's a sliding scale, but you have kids, but also groups come out here for kind of team building, don't they?
Correct. Most of our clients are from school systems, so this is a model that we use to help improve school environments, bring teams of children together. We can do science-based projects out here. We can work on conflict resolution, or we can have a culminating event to help them celebrate their year.
You also have had a lot of support from the community. When you go through here, you kind of see sponsorships, and that's got to make you feel really good, that the value to the community.
Fabulous. When you listen to the participants, you can tell there is no lack of enthusiasm.
So I've been coming since I was 7, and it's been the highlight of my year every year.
This is my 8th year coming out here, and I'm afraid of heights, and I come back. You definitely meet new people, you learn new things.
Safety team, are you ready?
Yeah. Ready!
Ready to fly?
Fly away!
3, 2, 1, go!
Lisa Cheney came from the commercial world, and it changed her life forever. So, Lisa, you used to be in the corporate world. That may seem like a lifetime ago since it was 20 years. How has that kind of prepared you for the role that you're doing here?
Well, what's really interesting is what it gave me when I got into this industry is it gave me a lot of confidence to get up and talk in front of adults. So I was working with adult learners. Honestly, though, this has given me more in terms of my personal growth as a trainer and as a teacher, because I learned, first of all, how to work well with kids, which means you joke a lot, you have a lot of fun.
Actually get to laugh sometimes.
Yes, you have a really good time, and with adults too. And I have had the experience where I've been working with an adult group, and somebody will always say to me, "You get paid to do this?" And the answer is, "Yeah, isn't this great?" So it was, at the time that I made the jump into this industry, it was difficult, but it was well worth it.
You hit on something really key. There's a lot of rope courses. They all kind of have their personality, but personal growth is kind of the mantra for Pine Lakes, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Two things, personal growth, and we always say that the magic happens in the woods out here.
Right. It's, give us an overview, because you've got a lot of things going on. It may look like competition, but it really isn't competition, but in the air and on the ground. Just give us an overview of what the course is all about.
Okay, so when we have a group come out here, really our goal is to help them do two things. They want to be able to grow as a group. They want to figure out who they are in that group, and they want to figure out how can I function better and what is in my role in this group. So not only do we help them learn how to be a better community, we also help them learn things about themselves that they can take back to do with a group, or they can take it back into their life and do with other people. So there's a lot that's going on, and there's a lot that can be gained and learned from being out here.
Now today we're seeing younger kids, high school kids, and they're doing a lot of strenuous things, but you do a lot of just basic learning, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. The kids, when they come out here, we are very educationally focused. We like to marry what we do to Common Core. So when they're coming out, they're not just learning about, how to play in the trees and how to climb, they're also learning what's going on in the lake. And we did on Monday with the group that we have this week, they learned about water quality, they learned about the importance of water, and that's going to be a big issue for this generation coming up.
When you talk about these kids, you really have all types, don't you? I mean, they're just kids.
Yeah, yep.
And it doesn't matter young or old, and really, I think you were telling me you've seen the most, because some kids have different disabilities and they've overcome them.
Absolutely. A story I have for you, we had a girl come out, 7th grader, and this is one of the things I love about my job, is what I see people do that makes me a better person, because they push themselves, and it makes me say, I have to push myself. She had 2 prosthetic legs beneath the knee. And when we started the game, she took them off.
Wow.
And to play the game, she climbed by taking them off and walking on her stumps, going up the tree. And then she decided not to traverse because that would have been too painful. But the point is, she did way more than anyone else I'd ever seen. So that was phenomenal. And the fact that she was cool with what she was doing, she didn't care. Her attitude was, I want to do this, and this is how I have to do it. So,
as amazing that is for her, that had to say reams about the people that watched this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, how could you watch that and walk away and not be changed because you saw somebody really rise to the occasion?
What are some of the things, because adults learn differently than kids, and you have both types of groups there. How do you manage that?
It's a really good question. So adult learners, what I like about working with adults is that they have that wealth of experience, and they're really willing to bring that to the table. So we have these really rich debriefs after we do an activity. The difference between adults and kids is that experience. What the kids have going for them is the magic's still there. So they want to play when they come out, and it's a lot of fun. So I have fun, they have fun, and it's a great time. And the thing is, and what we have to constantly point out to them, is even though they're having fun, they're learning. And for a lot of kids, that's like, they don't think the two go together, and they do. So that's really cool. And with adults, it's getting them back to being that kid so that they can learn and have fun too.
It's got to be amazing for you too, because we've seen some of the facilitators, instructors, that you saw them coming up when they were kids of this age.
Yes. Yeah, you heard about.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Melissa and
Right,
and,
I did.
some of them.
And what was really nice for me is that Cassie, who you talked to, she was telling me that she remembered me as her facilitator when she was 9 years old, and she said, I came here because I loved having you as my facilitator. So that was really cool to hear that.
That's worth more than the paycheck,
well,
isn't it?
yeah, because it says to me I'm making a difference in somebody's life. And to me, that's really why we're here. We want to make a difference. We want to make it better. So she liked it so much she kept coming back, and then she ended up actually becoming a facilitator. So that's really cool to see that that will happen.
What are some of the changes that you've seen through the years, and look into your crystal ball and say, okay, it may look like this in the future?
In the future, wow. Okay, so what I'd like personally is I would really like to see schools adopt the experiential model more in the classroom. They are going in that direction. I'd like to see them really not only adopt it in the classroom but come out here, because just being in the woods and being out in nature, they're now finding, is so important, and it's something that we've gotten so far away from that we need to get back to it. So for me, that's what I'm seeing down the road, is that we're really partnered more with schools and that we actually are part of their curriculum and they're coming out here on a regular basis.
The setting couldn't be more amazing, because we're out here, and I've spent most of my life out in the woods. I would never know I'm in the middle of Bristol.
Yeah, right?
We were looking at mushrooms and
Yeah.
everything else. For a lot of these kids, I mean, this has got to be like Mars. It's a brand new world.
Yes, for a lot of them it is. And, you know, they still call the ground the floor because they're not used to being outside. And to me, that's sad, but I'm also glad they're here because they're getting that experience. And I can tell you that the kids that come out here, when they come out on a field learning experience or a field trip, what we always hear when they're leaving, one kid will say, this is the best field trip ever, always. Because they're not, you know, they didn't realize it could be so much fun to be out in nature. So, because nobody really showed them how this works, so.
We appreciate you joining us each month, and we'd really like to know what you think. Our email address is marketing@bristolct.gov. We're on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you want to know more about Bristol, go to bristolallheart.com. Until next month, we'll see you then.